Hey everybody, we have an Australian Labradoodle puppy litter update today. These are medium Australian Labradoodles and they're 2 weeks old. And in this video, we're going to show you each of these puppies up close and personal, give you information on the milestones they've reached this past week, give you an update on Mama Labradoodle Callie here, and just talk a little bit more about the stakeholder partners that you need to have a successful relationship with your dog. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and these medium Australian Labradoodles are from our Calico Quilt litter. And these puppies are almost 2 weeks old. Reynold and I are going away for a couple of days, so we're taping this video just a couple of days before the puppies actually are 2 weeks old, just so nobody misses out on anything. And I think that you'll be surprised when we show you each of the puppies and talk about the milestones that they've met this past week. So as you can see in this litter, we have some ebonies, we have some chocolates, and we have this one party girl here. We have 7 puppies, and it's amazing their weight gain. This litter has just done amazing leaps and bounds in their weight gain. They are slowing down a little bit now and becoming a little bit more on track as opposed to way ahead of track. So I'm sure Callie's quite relieved about that. And Callie is also picked up what she's eating. So Callie is eating right now about 5 pounds of raw a day, and she also has about 5 cups of freeze-dried raw a day. So that translates to many pounds of food per day. And we let her tell us how much she needs. Sometimes she doesn't eat lunch, but then she'll eat in the afternoon and have dinner, and then also eat before she goes to bed. Other times she eats the 3 meals plus has another meal just before she goes to bed. So each meal is about the same size, and generally she gets that all cleaned up very quickly. But if she decides she wants to skip lunch, that's okay with me. It doesn't matter to me what time she eats at. So Callie is also becoming much more comfortable with her role as a mom in terms of being all right, letting the puppies not be with her every second. Up until this past week, she wasn't too keen on going out for more than just a few short minutes at a time. Hey, Callie? But now she comes in the morning with me. She goes on our full 15-minute walk around the acreage, and she comes back up and she is in the doodle den, and she usually eats her breakfast there. Sometimes she asks to come back and see the puppies and eats in here, and other times she's quite content to eat in the doodle den with the other dogs. So as always, we let our dogs be our guide and tell us what works for them, and we respond to that. And you can see how Callie's very good at fitting into this small space. These puppies have grown so much. They're huge. They take up a lot of space, but Callie manages to maneuver herself so that everybody can access the milk bar. And just a couple of minutes ago there, she was resting her head on the pig rail, which she often does. Quite often as well, she's upside down and she'll rest one of her hind feet on the pig rail as well, just to be sure the kids all have full access to the milk bar. So the puppies themselves this week, other than growing, have reached the first really major milestone, and that's that opening of their eyes. So when we go through each of the puppies, we're going to show you each one of them and tell you who has and who hasn't opened their eyes yet. Generally, puppies open their eyes between day 10 and day 18. Day 10 is fairly precocious. Day 18 is kind of slow, with day 14 being the average day that puppies do open their eyes. And when they open their eyes now, they can't see a lot. It's just really big blobs of things. It's not really got a lot of definition, but they are already starting to recognize, oh, this blob is a person. this blob is my mom and this blob is something that I shouldn't walk into, such as the pig rail or the walls of the whelping box. So they're starting to learn and process what that vision is telling them, but it's still fairly muddled and mushy and not providing them with a whole ton of information. Generally speaking, they are still relying almost totally on their sense of smell. So one of the things that's important when we're talking about puppies is who's going to work with you and your puppy, your vet, your groomer, your trainer. These are all things that are really important and something that everybody needs to be working on to get in place. We want to have a trainer who understands Australian Labradoodles, understands that they respond well to positive and gentle approaches and not some sort of Cesar Millan approach or anything that would involve a prong collar or any sort of martingale collar. And one thing I want to talk about quickly here in terms of equipment for your dog. One thing you never want to use is a retractable leash. These things are dangerous for people and they are dangerous for the dogs. And the reason why is because they are all very inexpensively made. They're all pretty much junky things. And what happens quite often is when you try to put the brake on to stop your dog, the brake doesn't work, or you are walking along and the brake comes on when you don't intend it to. So your dog's out there walking happily and you know, I have seen so many dogs with broken necks. I've heard of so many dogs whose tracheas have been so damaged they require surgery. If you happen to be a person and you run into one of these terrible pieces of equipment and it is wrapped around your wrist somehow or around your legs, they burn like nobody's business. And oftentimes you're relying on this leash and you're putting on the brake when you think there's trouble for your puppy. The brake doesn't work, your puppy gets into trouble, you're too far away to get your puppy back. You can't because the leash is so thin and you aren't able to get purchase on it, and it will burn your hands when you're trying to reel your dog in, or the whole thing just falls apart, and that's the worst scenario, and your dog takes off running. Because generally when you're trying to use the feature of this product is when you're in a situation where you want your dog to halt. So what should you use instead? A long line that is made out of good solid material, a long line that you can rely on to actually not break and hold on to your puppy. And yeah, it takes a little bit more effort on your part to manage the long line. They can come in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 meter lengths. 50 would be too long for your average walk. I use a 30-foot long line. I can well manage it and not have any trouble. And if my dog gets in trouble, I know I can pull my dog back in without hurting my dog, without hurting my hand, and without having any fear of it breaking. Now, this is the long line that you're going to get in your puppy starter kit if you're getting a puppy from this litter. Most all of you are signed up for the puppy starter kit, so that's something that you're going to use a lot because it gives your dog all this freedom, lots of space. It allows them to have a decompression walk so they can meander about, they can sniff. It gives them the feeling that, oh, I have some freedom, I'm on my own. And this is their relaxing time, right, Kelly? A decompression time, not a walk on your 6-foot leash, which is also in your puppy starter kit, where your dog is heeling by your side. That's a walk, that's where you want your dog to behave, where you want your dog to pay attention, stay by your side, and they're not meandering around really enjoying themselves. That's a plain and simple exercise. But the decompression walk, which is just as important and many times more important than the 6-foot by my side walk, is the one you do on your long line while your puppy has the luxury of smelling things and just going at their own pace. When you go on a decompression walk, your goal is not to exercise your dog's body, but to exercise their mind. This is how dogs get enrichment. This is how dogs get satisfied. This is how you have a happy, calm dog, allowing them to go out and sniff and put their nose in this and see what's that over there. Maybe eat a little bit of grass from this side of the sidewalk and, oh, what over there? What's that? Check out the butterflies. smell everything, probably pee on top of it as well. Even if you're a girl, girls mark too. And find out, oh, you know, this dog over here was here. All these things. Your dogs get all their information through their nose, and this is for them like binge watching on Netflix and really enjoying themselves and having a great time. When you want to exercise them, that's when you use the 6-foot leash that's in your puppy starter kit. You walk, you have a purpose, you know how far you're going to go, you go at a certain pace, and your dog knows that they come and they walk beside you. And when you're walking your dog, you're not putting the leash on a collar ever. You're putting them always on their harness, and a harness that does not then go onto the neck at all. You don't want to ever be having any resistance in this very sensitive area of your dog's body. And then the other leash that you get in your puppy starter kit is your hands-free leash. When your puppy's young, you use this to tether your puppy to you so that you can go about your business. You can make dinner, you can be on your computer, whatever you need your hands for, but your puppy cannot wander off and do something that later on you go, oh no, they just ripped my brand new outfit to shreds, or they found my shoes and chewed them to bits. This means your puppy's right beside you, and you also won't miss any cues for when your puppy's telling you, hey, I need to go outside. When your puppy is older, you use that hands-free leash in conjunction with your other leashes. So if you like to run, you can easily use this around your waist or over your shoulder in conjunction with the 30-meter long line. That gives your dog lots of space, lots of room. Or you can use the hands-free leash and the 6-foot leash if you are wanting to do an activity that's in a more urban area. And you can see all the puppies now here are all, look at how happily they are at the milk bar. It's amazing how they can sort themselves out and just line themselves up. We've got one over here that's full and not eating anymore. So that's all 7 of them. There is an empty spot here if the 7th one did want to eat, but it appears that he's probably, that empty spot has now been taken, but there is another one down here, tan color or light blue color boy got that one. And Callie must be running out of milk because you can see he just came off that nipple and he's looking for something over here. So at this point, the puppies had eaten about 15 minutes before we started shooting this video. So Callie had already donated quite a bit out of her milk bar. The puppies wanted some more just to tank up a bit there. So now they'll have emptied her right out. And Callie herself will know when that happens. And this is often when you'll see her get up and she'll go lie in front of the whelping box as opposed to being right in here with the puppies. Because she knows that she's empty and it's probably uncomfortable for them to keep pulling away on her nipples and constantly be at her. So one of the things that you can see here, if we can get a mouth out of the way here, I'm just going to move this puppy back a bit. You can see that when they nurse, there's a little bit of redness that comes on the nipples here and the whole mammary gland itself. So this is why we put the bag balm on here. That helps with that redness, which is caused by the sucking motion. It's almost like they get a hickey on there. And it also keeps her breasts nice and soft, supple and smooth. And you can see how much elasticity she has in there and how nice and soft and supple those are. So sometimes the puppies go to the wrong area and they'll nurse, say here. Right here you can see if this puppy here, I'm just going to move this puppy here so I can show you. Papa, yeah, I know. Nope, he's not going to give up. Never mind. There is a red spot there where a puppy was nursing. And oftentimes right here, you can see on the side of this one here, you can see there's a little red spot here to the side of the nipple. And that's because the puppy either had the whole thing in their mouths and was really sucking vigorously or was in the wrong spot for a bit. And you can see even in the amount of time we talk, that redness dissipates quite quickly. And when it dissipates that quickly, we know that the breasts are in really good shape. They're nice and supple, and that's what we want to keep them at. So we check those regularly for Callie, make sure that they're all in good shape. The bag balm is, I mentioned previously, it's sort of like a Vaseline. It's was designed originally to be used on cows' udders for the same reason, to keep them nice and soft and smooth and in healthy condition. Perfectly safe for the puppies if they get any of it when they are nursing. So the puppies are still pretty much sleep, eat, repeat. Even though their eyes are open, they're not really using their eyes to give them too much information at this point. They're still relying on their sense of smell. Now, this coming week, the ears are going to start to open. And I can see already in Pink Collar Girl here, her ears I can see are starting to open already. So once the puppies start to hear, then we have a big change in what happens with them. And then they become more like quote unquote real puppies. It's almost like a second birth because then they can hear, they can see, they're far more aware of their surroundings. And it will be time to move them out of this very small space, and we'll move them into our nursery, which we call the Doodle Den. And they will be joining Anice's Anue puppies in the Doodle Den there. But for now, we'll just leave them here for at least another week. We won't move them till everybody has their eyes and ears open. We don't want to put them in a new situation where they're not able to fully cope with it. And if you can't see and hear and you're moved, it's a little bit unpleasant. So we'd like to wait until they can see, they can hear, and they're able to deal with that change. So no toys yet for anybody. That won't come until we move them into the Doodle Den. They're all starting to walk. They all can walk, not too badly. They're not playing with each other yet, though. Again, that is something that will happen after the 3-week point. So we don't want to rush them. It's only such a short period that they're babies for that we really want to enjoy the time that they have when they're young and they're infants and still kind of helpless. So now we're going to talk about each of the puppies and what their weights are at for this week. So as always, we're going to do them in birth order. So we're going to start with Yellow Collar, who is not there. This is Yellow Collar over here. Yeah, this is Yellow Collar, the one who I said had already had enough to eat. So Yellow Collar is this very pretty look-alike to his mom. He is a chocolate phantom boy. And if we can get him to wake up, maybe he will show you his eyes, because his eyes are open. I have seen them with my own 2 eyes. Yellow Collar is now 881 grams. So he's the second smallest puppy. So where you are in the birth order doesn't matter in terms of size. I just want to show us your pretty eyes. Maybe if I give him a little bit of a kissy, he'll show me his eyes. No, he says, I don't think so. I'm just too tired. Not going to show my eyes to anybody today. This puppy's a very sweet puppy, very quiet. Usually the first one to finish at the milk bar. Never pushy, not at all. What I tell you about their personalities, by the way, right now, these are not what their personalities are definitely going to be. They may continue to have those qualities, but at this age, it's far too soon to be figuring out what their personalities are like. So Kelly wants to give him a bit of a cleanup, so I'll give him to her. Next is a Pink Collar Girl. Hello, sweetheart. And that's our really pretty Try. So this little girl is a chocolate party as well as a phantom, and you can see her eyes. Yay! She's going to show you her big blue eyes. All puppies are born with blue eyes. Her eyes will not stay blue. Her eyes are going to end up being a dark chocolate kind of color. Yeah, that's what they'll be. Or they might be a hazel. This little girl is a little cutie with her markings. She's got her little bit of chocolate lipstick going on there and her nice little beauty spot. And you can see that beauty spot's kind of grown. It's a little bit more of her face now than it was when she was first born. And her nose is filling in nicely, so you're starting to see that her nose is going to be all brown instead of pink. She has a few little freckles up on her nose, which are just adorable. And then she has her pretty markings on her back, right? Yeah. And you'll notice this again, I'm still talking to them even though they can't hear me. No, they can't hear me. So that's Pink Collar Girl coming in at 1.129. Oh my goodness. She's a hefty girl. She's not the biggest one though. Oh my goodness. She's giving me lots of squawking. She says, I want to go where there's food. Don't put me back over there. Where's the food? Next is Blue Collar. And Blue Collar is right here, nursing away like mad. You are Blue Collar, right? Just, yep, still double check all the time. And he's probably not going to be too excited about giving up that spot that still's got some milk coming out. No, you can see how strong that suction is. I am definitely trying to persuade him off of there. So this little guy, you can see his eyes as well. Now his eyes were not open yesterday. So late yesterday afternoon when I came to check, they were just like this. There was teensy little slits, so I figured they would probably open up this morning, and indeed they did. And this handsome dark blue collar little man, he is a chocolate tri. And he's a tri because he's a phantom, and he has white. You can see all that white there. So that's what makes him a tri. Beautiful little head this guy has. He's really too pretty to be a boy, if you ask me. And Mr. Blue is, excuse me, Kelly, 994 grams. So almost at that 1 kilogram mark. He's probably telling me if I'd left him alone and let him keep eating, he would be at that 1 kilogram mark. So we'll put him back and see if he can find that spot again. Next we have Green Collar, who's underneath here. Oh, maybe Blue can take Green spot because he's quite attached. It's quite a bit of work. There we go. But we certainly don't want to yank them off. We want to be gentle about it. Green is a handsome black phantom boy with some bits of white, and he too has his eyes open. There they are. Oh, he's going to give you a really good look at his eyes, wide open. He was the third puppy to open up his eyes. Purple collar was the first one, pink collar was the second, and green was the third one. And Mr. Green is 951 grams. And looking to add to that weight. So we'll just put him back over there. Oh, you can see, look at how Pinky has decided to find her spot in the milk bar there. Just a minute, Kelly, just moving your head. She's right sideways, hogging the whole spot there, covering up a couple of other ones. Tan Collar Girl is next, and she is nursing here. Tan Collar Girl has got that. Now, there's a good example of not nursing properly. She hasn't got the nipple properly in her mouth. So you can see she was sucking right here, and that just causes all sorts of discomfort for Callie. That's not very nice. Tan Collar Girl does not have her eyes open. She says, I have no interest in seeing the world, thank you very much. I am just going to keep myself in darkness. And this is my favorite color, this gorgeous jet black solid girl, just gleaming. Oh my goodness, she's such a shiny girl. Beautiful head, gorgeous ear set. This puppy is going to have the sweetest little face. And Miss Tan Collar Girl is 871 grams. So she's our smallest puppy in the litter. Maybe I'll put her on one where she can maybe get a better aim. She certainly, oh yeah, I'm right on there. Next we have Purple Collar. Purpy is right here. Purple is the biggest puppy in the litter, and you can see she's certainly having no trouble hogging a whole bunch of space at the milk bar there. Oh my goodness, you're big. Purple Collar is 1.219 kilograms. And of course, as I said, she has her eyes open. She was number one to open her eyes. She is the biggest puppy in the litter. That doesn't mean that's why she was first to open her eyes. In Anissa's litter with the mini Labradoodles, it was the smallest puppy in that litter who opened their eyes first. So Miss Purpy is a mama look-alike. She is a gorgeous chocolate phantom, pretty much exactly the same as Callie. Little smidge of white on her chest there. This is a beautiful puppy, very sweet girl, and a really good weight at 1.219 kilograms. And I'll bet you she'll go right back at it These puppies, I have had to loosen their collars so many times. I think they'll be in the grown-up collars, but way earlier than normal. And then we have light blue. Light blue is our black solid male, who must be underneath everyone here. Nope, that's tan. Where are you, light blue? Light blue, light blue, here you are, hiding all the ways over here. Here we go. And Mr. Light Blue did not have his eyes open yesterday, but he does now. And this week, he is showing you that, hey, you know what? I surprised you all. I'm not a black solid male. I am going to be a phantom, even though I'm kind of a pretty weakly marked phantom. But now we can see the chits above his eyes there, his eyebrow markings, which are that phantom copper color. He's got on his paws, but on the back, and not so much on the front. So he's still doing a ha-ha, tricking you, and you can see a little bit on the side of his face there. And Mr. Light Blue is 970 grams. So that is all the puppies, all chowing down, having a great time. Callie's just fabulous with managing them all. Hello, sweetheart. You can see pretty green collar back here. Says, oh, finally I'm full. Oh, yes. Oh, there's those pretty blue eyes. Yeah. Oh, dark blue. There you go. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Always so much complaining. And actually, unusually, the puppies woke me up last night because there was some crying going on. And it's very unusual for them to wake us up at night at this point in time. But what had happened was Kelly was digging up the bed. She was digging out the bed because there was quite a bit of pee and she couldn't keep up with it. So she had this corner all dug up, and pink collar and tan collar were on the underneath, which if you look here is a plastic, it's a coroplast. And they couldn't get back up onto the carpet where everyone else was. Callie was not in the whelping box. She was sleeping out in front, and she wasn't the least bit interested in their distress calls. She just waited until I came and solved the problem, and then she happily came back in and cleaned everyone up. So sometimes you need to lend a helping hand to the girls, and they have no idea that it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and they just have no clock yet. So they eat and sleep whenever their tummies tell them, not what the clock tells them. So that's our litter update for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. We have made this, as I said, a couple of days early. So keep that in mind with their weights. They probably would have gained a bit more weight if we'd done it on the regular day, but nothing substantial to make a difference. If you've got any comments or questions, please feel free to post below. And I hope that you'll join us all again next week when we're here for our week 3 update. Thanks so much for watching.